Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 6 of the anime series, Hitsugi no Chaika. And this episode was just yet another in a line of stellar episodes, I have to say, making this probably my favorite series to come out of this particular wave. We begin essentially right where we left off, the two trios holding on to respectively each other's Chaikas, attempting a hostage exchange to set things right again. And though I suspected something ominous would interrupt this scene, I was surprised that it came in the form of an attack on high by a flock of giant, magic-wielding birds called cockatrices. Or at least, the cockatrices were being magically manipulated by those two guys from Gillette's party that were stalking one of the trios. But both trio parties decide in the heat of the attack, which sees them all working together to dispatch and destroy the aerial benefactors, that they can't conclude the exchange as intended. So both effectively make their respective retreats. And it was somewhat funny seeing in follow-up to this that Frederica had basically made her unceremonious return and was wholly mystified in the presence of this new red Chaika, who she poorly assumed was the white Chaika that had just undergone a change of hairstyles. As all of this concludes, however, we find that in the grand city of Paramil, a meeting of the Council of Six Nations is being held, wherein they're discussing the apparent crashing of one of their floating fortresses called Sawara within the province of a duke called Gavarni. Their concerns are over Gavarni's intentions in dealing with the alleged crash and the use of fossilized magic-based fuel to get it relaunched without their permission. Though it is believed to be a sign indicative of Gavarni's potential for treachery, that he wants exclusive control over the entirety of the Flying Fortress fleet, I find myself suspecting that the reason we're given this information is that it may or may not relate to one or the other of the Chaikas, or potentially any of the alternate Chaikas' missions. Or perhaps it could be a part of a potential power play being set up to either utilize or fend off against the gathering of these uber-powerful Gaz Empire relics, which may legitimately, as some fear, turn whoever wields them into a foe with unmerciless, unflinching power. In spite of the climate organization's concerns over this matter, however, voiced by their chief representative at this council session, in effect, Gillette's people are ordered off the mission to track down the multiple Chaikas, in lieu of their more pressing concerns of breaking up disputes erupting over the ownership of farmland and such, to Gillette's wholehearted aggravation. As we get back to Toru and Chaika the Red staying well hidden in the forest after all of this, I have to say I found it really interesting that Red Chaika essentially offers to pay Toru and Akari more than what they're being promised by Chaika the White. In their discussion, Toru explains, for a number of reasons, that they can't be bought. In effect, their code as saboteurs to remain loyal is unbreachable. It's when he relates also their need to fight, to have a battlefield to play upon, that Red Chaika changes her tactics, insisting that hers would be a mission more fraught with battles waging than Chaika the White's mission has been thus far. Eavesdropping over the entire scene, Frederica notices Toru seeming mulling this over and suggests that he would in fact benefit from greater battles if he sided with Chaika the Red, and so Red Chaika insists he at least consider her offer. At which point we find out that Akari has had a run-in with Team Red's David, and they've set up a new time and place to make an exchange in Paramil. What's really cool about this is where Toru makes his choice and explains why he's made it, which ultimately comes down to why Chaika's needing him more. She isn't as fierce or cunning in mind and body as the Red Chaika is, yet does she possess just as strong convictions and motivations, so it is that Toru feels she actually needs the help he can give her. In essence, he prefers her because he needs for his skills and talents to be needed. And of course, Team Red has their usual trick up their sleeve in wanting to take out the competition, even during the second attempt at an exchange. But fantastically and in a magnificent fashion, Toru, Akari, and Frederica anticipate this, posing the shape-shifting Frederica in Akari's place so that the real Akari could get the jump on Team Red's sniper babe Selma, which does successfully leave Team Red having to run with their tails between their legs. But not to be outdone, they try again for a third time to ambush Team White. This time, however, Team Red's David relates an alternate plan as set forth by Chaika the Red, who's developed something on a crush on Toru in all their time together, which suggests that Toru, Akari, and Frederica should join their team's cause. But seeing as which it would result in the killing off of our main Chaika, Toru, as ever, true to his desires and loyalties, just won't have it, and has now voiced his willingness to kill even the Red Chaika if necessary, and those in her employ if it meant protecting Chaika the White. It was just incredible, the dramatic lengths to which this series has shown it's readily willing to go, as this scene is succeeded by yet another, albeit brief, action sequence, leaving Team Red no other choice but to make another retreat. And so we conclude this episode with our main Chaika's team moving ever onward, but with Toru's concerns that the threats to their ultimate goals have now effectively escalated. And it's becoming, in the wake of this episode, even much more fascinating a mystery as to the origins of Chaika and her several, or possibly many, other doppelgangers, as signified by the mutual scars that they all share and the lacking of their memories or alternate motivations in their missions. I don't readily buy that they're all sisters from multiple different mothers as fathered by this Arthur Gaz. Rather do I think there's more of a potential for these to all have been clones made through either magic or some science, or perhaps are each of these Chaikas all split apart incarnations or consciousnesses taken from one former whole, in effect taking away certain of their memories and dictating that their motives would be alternate to each other's. It will be, whatever the case, fascinating to eventually find out. And I also have to add, just prior to recording this, I found out that the series is actually going to be getting a second season of episodes beginning in October of this year, following on from this first season of, I think, 12 episodes, which is just phenomenally awesome. I'll be definitely looking forward to that, and otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.